Slum Bubba's Journal, June 7th, 2024. Spin botters in arms race, plus 65 in Premiere. This game is fucking afraid of me. These 9 maps we hold so near and dear to our hearts have been around longer than my third wife. Eat shit, Veronica. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is bad off course, and I'm thinking it's time Gabe Newell let go of the wheel. For God's sake, the M24 and I didn't even get an adjustment to make it usable. This pod is about one more bad exploit away from boiling over, and when it does, the 3 and 22 trolls, the Steam level 1 prodigies, and the 2,000 point players with D-lores will all extend their hands expecting my help. But my hand won't be there. My hand will be controlling the spoon, melding it all together, and I'll be licking my chops, waiting to taste the resulting sludge.
Okay, you useless piece of garbage, there's a new case loaded in the system.
Sorry, you came in just as I was resting my eyes for a second.
Oh, resting your eyes, huh? I'm about to be resting my fucking foot in your ass if you don't solve some damn cases. For Christ's sake, you haven't even been doing skin pricings anymore. That's what keeps our lights on.
It's just with the pricings, all I'm going to do, I'm going to get on CS Float, I'm going to look what it last sold for, and then I'm just going to tell them that number. It's like they don't even need me in that exchange.
Listen, I don't care what you do, but this isn't cutting it anymore. If you don't figure something else out, this pussy is going on buff.
I love you. Guess I better look at that new case in the system. Dear Mr. Bubba, who made the Op Dragon lore? I mean, it's a part of an operation, so I guess that means Valve would have made it, but when did this skin even come out? Maybe I need a quick little wiki refresher before I get into all this. For the uninitiated, in Counter-Strike, you're able to obtain skins for the weapons that you use in the game. The first of these skins were added all the way back in August 14th of 2013 as part of the Arms Deal update. This is when Valve solidified their position in the microtransaction Hall of Fame with their introduction of cases to the game. These cases are one of the ways you can get weapon skins in the game. They drop at the end of matches, and you have the option to pay $2.50 to open it and get a random skin that's in that case. It's important to note you can also just instantly turn around and sell this case for Steam funds if you're not into gambling. Valve even admits back in the day that they weren't really sure how players would take to this kind of mechanic.
We'd used our best guess at case opening rates before shipping the economy, but in our first couple of months, our customers opened way more cases than we'd expected.
So yeah, they were a smash hit. With some skins in these cases being incredibly unlikely to be unboxed, they are way more valuable than the more common skins. So now that we understand how cases work, let's fast forward a little bit. Let's travel to July 1st, 2014. On this day, Valve released the breakout operation for the game. This included 6 new community maps, a new weapon case, and most importantly to us, 3 new weapon collections. These collections were themed around the maps Baggage, Overpass, and Cobblestone. The skins in these collections were awarded to players for completing missions that were a part of the operation. And as you can imagine, the higher tier weapons in these collections, even back in the day, were very rarely seen dropped.
Holy shit, this guy got a knife. What the fuck? That's a fucking $300, and I get this fucking shitty ass M24. Fuck this game, yo.
So when we look at the rarest skin in these collections that were already rarely dropped, we find what many consider to be one of the most valuable skins in Counter-Strike, the Op Dragon lore. Players took to this skin instantly. They loved its flashy but still elegant appearance, and over time the price skyrocketed. Being the choice skin of some of the best players in the world and being immortalized in some of the best pro Counter-Strike moments in history has only multiplied the value of this skin.
Come back to bite them. They are censoring it though, and they're going to be nading off, and JW of course lands the first shot. They're going to be fully aware, making a double.
But what really amplified its price was in 2017 when Valve suddenly removed the ability for the Cobblestone collection to drop with the conclusion of the Operation Hydra event, thus making it to where the only way you can get these skins without trading is by opening souvenir packages. Souvenir packages were packages that were dropped to viewers of Pro CS matches back in the day. And as I'm sure you can imagine, now that these packages are the only way to obtain these skins anymore, the price has skyrocketed to levels which the community has never seen before. So essentially, for you to get a 0.04% chance of actually hitting the Op Dragon lore, you will have to pay around $1,000. Or you could buy one from someone who already has one for an entry price of roughly $4,000. But just keep in mind, that's for one that is battle scarred and isn't nearly as nice as any of the ones we're going to be looking at today. But that is enough history. What do you guys say we go make our own?
Of course.
Oh, hey. Oh, so you must have just finished the history portion. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, because I really tried to make it, where whether you knew a little bit about CS or you thought you knew everything, you would... Oh, you skipped it. Just I spent a lot of time trying to make it enjoyable for everybody.
So we got us a fucking skipper. Do you like skipping stuff?
Oh, you watched? Oh shit! Hold up. You watched it. I think I misunderstood you earlier. You actually okay. I'm so sorry about that. We're just gonna let you go to the next part. You're not a skipper. You're good. Totally. Now, I know the dragon lore isn't for everyone. I know a lot of people don't like the colors on it, maybe you don't like the dragon design, but I think even if you're either of the people I just described, you have to admit that it is perfect for the collection that it's in. Which circles us back to why we're here in the first place. Who gets the credit for doing that? So, in an attempt to get this thing wrapped up before lunch, I quickly moved over to Google expecting to find my answer instantly. But after scanning through multiple forums, all I knew was what we already knew, that Valve had made the skin. But I want to know who at Valve made the skin. So I kept digging, and I just found more and more examples of the same. People saying it's a secret, or just informing them that Valve made it and no one knows. So the creator of one of the most legendary Counter-Strike skins of all time is unknown to the world. Let's fix that. Well, if it isn't Special Agent Luis Alvarez. When I hired you, I knew what you did in Iraq, and I knew you liked it too, and that's part of why I hired you. But when you joined the Foreign Fighting Legion in Ukraine, and when I saw the pictures of what you did to those Spetsnaz soldiers, I knew I had bit off more than I could chew. I had to Google what a blood eagle was. And I get war is war, but that's why we're here today. I need you to tell me why you deserve to be on this case with me, Alvarez. That's it, Alvarez. That's why you're my top guy. But I shouldn't have to give you that push, and you know that. The question is, where do we go from here? So, what do we know going in? Well, we know the Dragon lore originally released back in 2014, so we can pretty safely assume that whoever would have made the skin worked at Valve during 2014 or before. We can also assume that the person or the persons who designed it at Valve worked in some sort of artistic capacity because, well, it's art. My first thoughts going into this were to closer examine the art on the map the skin was tied to, Cobblestone, because maybe they like pulled the asset from the map somewhere. And I remember back in the day that there was a certain location on the map where there was a dragon very similar to the one on the dragon lore. And sure enough, if we look right here, here's a painting or some kind of tapestry that looks very similar. But then I started thinking about it, and I remembered back in the day when this actually came out, Cobblestone did not look near this nice. Like most maps, Cobblestone has sort of evolved over the years, so I quickly tracked down and loaded up a version closer to when the collection dropped, and well, let's just say I sort of ran into a wall. And as far as I can tell, there was nowhere else on the map that really featured any artwork like this, so I think we can go ahead and chop this up to being a dead end. So let's reset and explore a different option. When doing research for this video, I found a press conference from a game developer conference all the way back in 2014, where a Valve employee is talking about their decision of adding skins to the game. It's about an hour long, but if you care about the history of Counter-Strike, you'll probably find it very interesting to see the different decisions they made when adding the economy to the game. I'll link it in the description below. But what we care about is the specific moment when she mentions that there were only 2 technical artists at Valve at the time, and they were very crucial to putting the skins in the game.
At the time, CSGO was actually a really small team. Our art team consisted of 2 technical artists, and that's the whole list.
Now, what exactly is a technical artist? A video game technical artist plays a crucial role in optimizing the game engine to enhance its functionality for the artist. A technical artist assesses the technical feasibility and then devises an innovative solution to empower the artist in realizing their creative aspirations for the game. So these technical artists wouldn't be the ones to create the dragon lore, but they're definitely the people who slap the skin on the gun. But more importantly to us, they would probably know who did make the dragon lore. And the reason I'm really focusing on this is because, as I showed you earlier, she says there's only 2 technical artists working on the Counter-Strike dev team at this time, and we know Bronwyn is one of them. So if we can find the other one and reach out to both of them, maybe one of them will throw us a bone and we can find out who made this. So from here, I went over to LinkedIn and I started looking at technical artists who have claimed to work at Valve before or during 2014. And sure enough, after a little bit of searching, I was only able to find 2 technical artists making this claim. So I sent them all connection requests with an attached message sort of explaining my reasoning for doing so. And honestly, at this point, I felt pretty good about hearing back from these people. They seemed relatively active, and we know Bronwyn also does these press conferences and things, so maybe she'd be more likely to actually answer us. But after a few days had passed and I still hadn't heard back or gotten any confirmation that they had received my message, I decided it would be best to move on for now. When doing research for this, I uncovered that even back in 2014, Valve had a lot of artists working for them. And by going through their LinkedIn, I found a lot of artists who fit our criteria. So I just started messaging all of them the same thing, asking them if they could give me any information at all. And well, guys, believe it or not, after 4 days, no one ever messaged me back. Nor did any of them accept my connection, which I am taking personally moving forward. I'm not gonna lie to you, at this point, I was feeling incredibly discouraged. And I knew Valve was a tight-lipped company, but I thought at this point I would at least have a little information to go off of, but I was really just getting dead ends everywhere. So one day, I was just browsing Valve's website when I noticed down at the bottom, they had an email specifically for press to reach out to them and ask questions. So I decided to give it one last crack, and I sent them this. Hello. I was hoping you could answer a question for me or maybe point me in the right direction for who I should ask. I'm currently making a video for my university focusing on art and video games, and one of the major points of my video is discussing the Dragon Lore skin from CSGO. Despite my research, I've been unable to locate a name of anyone at Valve that created it. I'm only inquiring because I'd love to use other examples of their work to compare it to. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great week. Slum Bubba. I know I said this once already, but at this point, I really was running out of ideas. I kept checking LinkedIn every day, hoping someone would throw me a bone.
They did not. I went back to square one and tried thinking of new ways of tackling it. I looked a lot into the guy responsible for making the original cobblestone map, but I just kept falling flat. This is also in the middle of my junior year of college, and I'm getting to the point where exams are creeping up, and for the sake of my studies, I had to tell myself just to forget about it for a while. It happened. While I was getting ready for my finals, I saw that I had received an email back from Valve. Now, I tried to contain my excitement. I was very much aware that this could just be an email saying, you know, we can't tell you that, or it could just be an automated email saying they got my email, so I tried to contain my excitement. I nervously navigated to the email and opened it, revealing the following message. Hi there. The person you'd want to credit for the art is Chippy. Thanks for asking. So at this point, I am freaking out. I am one of the few people on Earth now who know who made the dragon lore. And his name's Chippy. So I quickly drag my cousin into Discord and I start spinning this tale to him and explaining that the person's name is Chippy and so on and so forth. And before I'm even done telling the story, he has found a Valve employee that works in art whose name is Brian Chippy Dugan.
Oh, we got a visitor. Hey, what can we do for you, boss?
Old pal of mine, I'm trying to find him.
Oh, he like in our lobby or something?
You heard of a Brian Chippy Dugan?
Yeah, buddy, I'm hitting tab. I don't see nobody by the name Brian Chippy Dugan. I'm assuming you've tried Googling him before you came here, correct?
Yeah, of course I tried that.
Okay, well, you just did a really bad job at convincing me of that, so...
I'm gonna take my leave now, though, even though I have tried that.
Dude's just rising out of mud puddles. He didn't even try fucking Googling it first. You shitting me?
Thanks for the timeout, guys. I had to take my ferret outside. Now rush B or I'm not playing anymore.
Oh, moron.
When we look at some of the things Chippy has done over the years, it's really no wonder why he was chosen, or maybe even volunteered to design the dragon lore. Already, a lot of his works are deeply rooted in a medieval magical world and the fantastical creatures that inhabit it. Chippy has also done a lot of artwork for the card game Magic the Gathering, as well as Blizzard's very own Hearthstone. I also uncovered that recently Chippy had sold one of his original artworks that was featured on a Magic the Gathering card for $86,000. And if we go to Chippy's website, we can see other examples of things he's worked on, including but not at all limited to Dungeons & Dragons, Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, Thief 4, and even World of Warcraft. But tragically, if we click any of these images to explore his works further, we are met with an error page. In doing research on Twitter and Facebook about Chippy, I uncovered a legion of Magic the Gathering fans that worship his beautiful artwork. A few of them were also disappointed to find out that the website was no longer functioning. Guys, my one request of you, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy the artwork of Chippy, please do not try to track him down and ask him about this stuff. He seems like a man that really values his privacy, and I would really appreciate it if you didn't try to bother him. If perhaps anyone watching this for some reason is in regular contact with Chippy and wanted to pass along a message for me, I would greatly appreciate that. Just let him know that there are tons of Magic the Gathering fans that absolutely worship his work. I'm sure he's very aware of that. And hopefully now a bunch of Counter-Strike fans as well. And we would absolutely love to be able to peruse his artworks on his website if he had the time to update those links for us.
How could you have spent all the money you got for discovering who made the dragon lore already?
It's called an investment. It's how people make generational wealth.
Okay, that's it. I'm out of here.